Hi, my name is Ndiaye, and as you can see today, I don't have anybody to watching me do my speech, so I apologize for that, Professor. But today I want to talk to you about Jordan brand shoes. Throughout history, there have been many different forms of shoes that have risen in basketball community. The majority of the people used to play in Chuck Taylors, Adidas. Finally, in 1966, a name by the man named Michael Jordan came along and changed everything. Since then, the majority of basketball players, such as myself, have chosen to wear a Nike brand. More prominent as Jordan shoes. They came in many different series, retros, Team Jordans, and every other treasure fusions. The first type of Jordan I'm going to dwell to you is the most important type, which is the retro Jordans. Excuse me. Michael Jordan sets the stage with these type of shoes in which he played throughout his career, starting in 1986 with the Air Jordan Retro 1. From then out, Jordan shoes no longer bear the Nike symbol on them. They will wear Jordan symbols, and it brings up the point about the retro shoes. They show and hintage speak. Excuse me, my screen went blank. Sorry about that. Because of this, these shoes are very rare and they release limited numbers each year. In order to obtain these shoes, you will have to have some knowledge of the shoes company as well, you know, and as well as having company as well as having knowledge of the company also. You will need to come out of your pocket for these shoes. It costs a lot of money, and retros are around $175, pretty much. You may ask, you may ask as much as for those, but you know, you may ask why such sneakers cost that much, but you go back, you take a look at the history of these shoes, you'll see why a man of his stature, you'll find out why these shoes cost so much. They show no knowledge of the brand too, but they are the most expensive. And finally, three, they are the most fashionable. With that being said, let me discuss the Jordan, which the second team, but are far from the first. Team Jordans are signature shoes. This means that they are shoes that are worn by athletes and are sponsored by Jordans. These athletes include but not are limited to Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Juwan Howard, and the list goes on. Rip Hamilton. Team Jordan is not a fashionable or as a retros, but serves specific purpose, such as playing basketball in them. You can dress in them. You can pretty much do about anything you want with those Jordan shoes. The reason why these shoes get so much hype is due to the fact that they're worn by elite athletes mentioned above, as I mentioned. Kids around the world these days wear these shoes just because of these athletes that wear them, and also Michael Jordan. Giving rise to the anthem, I wanna be like Mike. Now let me move into the third one and the final category, which is the Fusion Jordan, by the way. The Fusion are hybrid of casual Nike Jordans and retro Jordans. Now, these are the lowest form of Jordan you can purchase. You may ask, how can these be when they are hybrid of the retro Jordans? But the reason being is that people try to wear these as a replacement from the retro Jordan. And if you have knowledge about Jordan, then you know this is not pretty much like a cardinal sin. It really is, because retro Jordan and the Fusion Jordan doesn't look nothing like. You will see that. Sometimes I see guys, I see guys mix Nike shoes. I mean, Nike tennis shoes with Jordans. it doesn't go well. Jordan are a classic, pretty much. Among the community, pretty much like according when I was a kid, we used to wear Jordans like it was just like we used to compete for them pretty much. We used to spend the night when we find out the days that the Jordans would come out. We would spend the night. I was at that specific store, wait in line the whole night just to be the first one to wear them, and that's how important it is. And since 1986, has not only changed the way Jordan has not only changed the way that the game is played, but it has changed the fashion and how clean you have to look when you play the game of basketball. Richard Jordans are not only fashion but sneakerheads, but they're also collective items. Also, by the way, yeah, and it costs a lot of money, and it will cost a lot the longer you save them. Whether it be retros, Team Jordan, or whoever hated Fusion, or the so hated Fusions, Jordan have shaped the basketball community and became a symbol as well. Thank you. Now that's my. Once again, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties that I was having, but I live by myself, so I don't have four people that I can present this speech with. But I hope you guys enjoy it when you take a look at it. And again, sorry to my professor. So hopefully I get a good grade on this. Thanks a lot. Bye. All right. Hello, my name is Elijah, and today I want to do my introduction speech. And as you can see, I have, like I said, I live by myself, so I have just one individual to present the speech to. Her name is Fatima, by the way. And what do you want to learn about me? Well, I was raised in Brooklyn, New York. I've been in New York my whole life, and I moved to San Diego. Well, I moved to San Diego last year. I went to junior college there in order to watch over my brother, who's in high school, currently in high school right now. And pretty much I'm just a student athlete, which is the reason why I'm currently taking this course right now, because I have a brother who's actually attending the University of Arizona, and I will also be doing the same thing, hopefully this fall, as long as I complete these units. So, and a while back I learned a lot of things about hard work, which I learned from my dad. So, there's many things that, I do today in which I learned from him. So, good or bad, but he always teaches us to do the best we can do, which is work hard. When you work hard, things will fall through. Hard work should be talent when talent fails to work, and I believe that till the day I die. So that's just a little brief story about me and my life. So what are you doing? A personal statement? Hopefully there's more things to come. Thank you. What's that personal statement? My name is Elijah John, and today I want to talk to you about the key inspiration in my life, which is my dad. His name is gora. My dad has shaped my life and pushed me throughout my whole life through the tough times and the good times we enjoyed, but he pushed me my whole life, and he worked. I watched him work so hard, throughout my whole life growing up. All I see was just hard work. What a man's supposed to do, is just to take care of his family, and those are things that I see in my father, which inspired me throughout my life. And it's been three things that I took from my dad, which I ran from, which implement my life, which is the value of hard work, and to love your family and to focus on your dreams and your what your goals are, whatever it is. And I want to talk to you about those three things that my dad taught me. You know, one of the first things is, most important thing is that my father taught me was the value of hard work. You know, my father would work two jobs, every day. He worked pretty much 16-hour shifts. He's barely home. He come whenever he gets home, he get a little rest and he's right back. He gets up and he goes right back to work. There was times with my little sisters, my little brother and sisters didn't understand. But as being the oldest in the family, I had to explain to them, why my dad wasn't spending as much time as he was with them. But they was young, so they didn't have any understanding. But me, I was a little older and wiser, so I seen what he was trying to accomplish, and it inspired me. This man would come home, tired. I can see in his eyes, but you know what? He'll fight it off and he'll get up and go to work. You know, and what that tells me is that I use that as a motivation every time I practice, whether I'm practicing, whether I'm doing work, no matter how tired I am, I can push myself further. And that was important because he played a big role in my life. And another thing that I want to talk to you that I learned was to love your family, because if you don't love your family, then no one will love you. And what I learned in this world is that family comes first besides God, after God. And there's people in this world that acts like they care about you, but they don't. And my dad has taught me that, you know, you're nothing without your family. You're nothing without God, but you're nothing without your family also. Because no matter what, they're always going to be the one you can rely on, you can come back to. They're going to be the one to be there when there's bad things, when there's negative things. Family first. So he always teach me to love, you know. And the last thing that I learned, is to just, if you have a dream, to just go after your dream. And that's one thing that I did. You know, I my goal is to get to the NFL. My brother's goal is to get to the NFL. And you know what? And that's something we strive for every day. And we're working very hard, and every time I want to get tired, every time I get tired, I always think about what my dad told me is that when you wrestling, someone else is out there working harder than you. And I believe that, and I believe hard work pays off, And when you work to the point where you can't push yourself any further, there's ways around that. You can still go harder. And I believe that to this day. And that's what I respect about him, because those are things that he did. And that's where he to achieve his goal. His goal was, to make sure we fed, you know, and by working those hours of shift, he made sure we fed. We have clean clothes. We have nice things. Every Christmas or whatever holiday, we didn't struggle. We didn't have, we didn't worry about those things. We have them, And those are things that I remember, and I just, I appreciate that. And finally, in conclusion, I just want to say, it's taken a little longer than expected, but you know what? Good things happen to those who wait, and one day I'll be able to, me and my brother, repay my dad and my mom, as a matter of fact, for all the things that they've done for us. And that's the goal. And I will not rest till I accomplish that. Thank you.